Woo! Another video! Yes! At least that's what I think, and what you should probably think as well. It's been like, what? 3 months without a video or something? 2 months? Whatever. It's been a while, and I'll get to the reasons about it a bit later, but for now let's talk about the game at hand for a bit. And what you see on the screen, and as it is stated in the, or at least as it should be stated in the name of the video, is Stunt Racer 64. And what can I say? Now, the reason I've decided to make this video in the first place is because I love this game, and when I checked all the other videos I found in the web, I didn't find even one of them that would have depicted the gameplay, you know, the proper gameplay, the real gameplay, the gameplay of someone who actually played and, well, had at least some experience in the game. I don't want to say mastered it, because I can't really say I've mastered it as well, but here's some gameplay from a guy who actually knows what he's doing. And you might ask me how I've reached this proficiency. Easy, motherfucker, I've just downloaded and read the manual. Really, man, it's that easy. Why the fuck none other retro gamer could figure out how to read a manual, I cannot fathom, but it just really makes me mad. The fact that all those channels with tens of thousands of subscribers can fucking figure out how to do a half-quarter trick, and this is probably the best portion of this game. These half-quarter tricks, man, that's just crazy, and all they showcase is some basic stuff that doesn't look interesting at all. And yeah, it kind of makes me mad. I'm not mad at speedrunners, so guys that do challenges, you know, completing all Nintendo 64 games in one video or in a series of videos. Alright, those guys, they are on their own. It's okay being them, but channels that position themselves as actual retro gamers and that cannot read the fucking manual, that's fucking weird. One of my subscribers did a decent video on this game, and I was pleasantly surprised, but then he stated in the comments that he didn't have no idea what he's doing at all, but at least he showcased some end game cars instead of driving a couple of the very first ones, and somehow he managed to pull out at least one quarter circle trick, so that's something at least. But in the end, yeah, I've decided I should make a video of my own. I'm starting this video with a showcase of a boss car, and these cars are kind of disappointment because all other cars in this game can be upgraded and boss cars cannot be upgraded. This particular car named Midnight Hauler cannot be upgraded as well, and so it is kind of slow and heavy and can't really do as much tricks as other cars, but I've decided it's a good thing to start this video slow. And I really like Midnight Hauler and most of the boss cars' designs. Midnight Hauler is just mwah, chef's kiss, and I specifically like those cool fleur-de-lis rims. I probably butchered that, fleur-de-lis, something that's French, you know, that flower kind of wheels, iron flower, the 3 petals flower kind of stuff. Those rims look awesome, and the car looks awesome. So it's a huge shame that you cannot upgrade the boss cars, and as you can see, the boss who I'm racing against in this race is so far behind me, like half a lap behind me, but I've decided it's good to race this track against the boss because this track is kind of hard when you do not race against the boss, against one of the first leagues. You see, this is pretty much one of the only tracks where you actually have to decide whether you race or whether you are doing tricks, but, well, I've decided I should concentrate on the tricks, so I've chosen an easy race. But this track, that track is behind us now, and this track is more even. And we can do a speedy race here, and at the same time we can do a lot of tricks. This is cool track, I really love this one. And boy, whoa! Like this, precision maybe. Yeah, I was pretty sure when I was actually recording it, I was pretty sure I'll fail that one, but that was spot on. That was really close to failing this one though, yeah. Anyway, this track is amazing. You know, just I believe about a year ago I've encountered a game that was named Rock and Roll Racing 2 Red Asphalt, or simply Red Asphalt in several other countries. And boy, I was so surprised by seeing a dragon on one of the tracks. That was awesome. That was awesome, and I never saw dragons in a racing game before. And here comes Stunt Racer 64, and there are 2 dragons on this track. And boy, I love it. I fucking love it. Man, there are not enough dragons in racing games. If I'll ever design a racing game, you know there will be a track with dragons. I love it. I don't know why, but this is so cool, you know, hot rods and dragons. And this actually brings us to the main point of Stunt Racer 64 and why I love this game. It's the design. Designs in this game are awesome. This is kind of like Fallout, but not you know, post-apocalyptic and all destroyed grey dull stuff. Instead, it is all the 50s style brand futuristic fantasy stuff. It's all bright, and even though there are hovercrafts and stuff, you are actually racing. The top racing machines are not some kind of, you know, hovercrafts or spaceships. No, top kind racing machines are souped up hot rods on white walls and space era concept cars like Lincoln Futura, which you could spot on the starting line of the first race. Once again, kind of sucks that Lincoln Futura in this game sucks, because it's a first both cars that cannot be upgraded, and I like Lincoln Futura's design, but that car is almost undrivable, and that's a shame, really. And the designs here are awesome. Actually, if you look at the front of this Z bucket I'm driving right here, well, you probably would have to, rewind back to the start of the race, the most comfortable moment. That supercharger, or at least the thing that looks like a supercharger on top of the engine of this hot rod, is actually not a supercharger, but a CRT TV. Some kind of screen, and it is definitely an old-style CRT screen, and that is awesome, man. I mean, have you ever seen a design like that? Classic electronics with the classic hot rod, and it's an unusually good look. I just love it, man. It's also a throwback to, you know, Pontiac GTO classic hood. You know, you might have noticed there is a small bump in, say, GTO the Judge's hood, or in the 99's GTO concept hood, and that bump is actually where they hit some kind of an instrument. I don't remember what it was. I believe it was manometer? What is the name? Manometer? Not sure, but thing is, this huge CRT screen that is put on the engine, on top of the engine, this is awesome. It harkens back to those classic design of Pontiac GTO. I'm not sure if it is intentional or not, but it certainly reminds me of Pontiac GTO's hood. And the design itself is amazing. I love it. Huge fucking CRT TV on top of the engine. It's badass, you know, it's badass and it's classy as fuck. I'm not sure how it's actually will it actually work or not, but the fact that you drive a hot rod and you have a CRT screen in front of you which displays some parameters, probably, but most likely about your engine. This is kind of electronics I've actually wanted to see in cars, you know? Not this bullshit we get. Oh boy. That was a flip I didn't want to get, but that was a lucky one. Oh boy. Happens with the best of us. This here, by the way, I drive a milk truck, and milk truck is a cheat car. It's actually not that fast or anything. The main advantage of a milk truck is in the fact that it possesses crazy powered jets engines, stunt jets. Jets engines, yeah, stunt jets. I want to say stunt jets that allow you to do tricks much faster than the other cars. Where normal cars, even top of the line boss cars, can perform like 3 tricks, milk truck can perform 4 or even 5, and this what makes milk truck kind of an amazing car to drive. Just check this out. Doesn't it look cool? And milk truck is pretty much one of the few cars which can pack a barrel roll into this small jump which I've just done. In fact, the only other car I've managed to do a barrel roll in this jump with is classic, non-complete version of Z bucket. Thing is, complete version of that bucket is too tall, and so when it tries to do a barrel roll there, it hits ground with the roof. Normal Z bucket doesn't do that, surprisingly or not. And tricks, man, tricks are the highlight of this game. That's why I'm so angry that none of the other gameplay showcases this stuff. Because this is amazing. Oh, this is amazing, man. Oh boy. You just drive normally and then you get your car into the air and you start doing all those half circles, quarter circles like you are playing fucking Street Fighter. And it's amazing, man. I'm telling you, dude, this is awesome. This is very original. I've never saw anything like that. Like, you're getting up in the air and start doing literal combos like in a fighting game. Now that's something I didn't see before, and I love original ideas. You cannot buy my love with 4K ultra wide graphics or whatever, but you can buy my love with original gameplay, and this here is what I call original darn gameplay. Oh boy, I ended up really loving Stunt Racer 64, and that's why this is a game which I've decided actually to record a video about. I've actually played a number of original games as of lately. For example, a Supercar Street Racer Challenge. It has very unusual customization, where instead of customizing your car with bumpers and spoilers and whatever, Supercar Street Challenge actually proposes that you create your own supercar. So you pick the front of a car and you pick an end of a car and then you mix it up. And I even cannot really explain it, and I've had an idea of showcasing it because the idea was really original, but the thing is, Supercar Street Challenge is kind of unsatisfying, somewhat dull game, and racing there doesn't feel particularly good. In Stunt Racer 64 though, everything comes up together. Stunts are original and it feels great, and racing, once you get to somewhat unusual physics, actually feels really cool. This track, for example, see this question mark sign which I've just picked up? It's actually a special one. I only met it in the last league, Dr. Death, I believe his name, league, the very last league, in the 4th of 5 rounds of races, and it actually picking up that question mark is what makes the skybox spin. If I'd race any other space race track, I wouldn't have that question mark, and spinning skybox, actually, first time I picked it up, it really provided that vertigo effect, and I kinda liked it, you know, so I've decided to pick this race and pick up the question mark sign on every lap. I think it really works. In fact, everything in this game just works, and it's very nice. It's very nice, man. As I've said, everything in this game just comes together. The somewhat awkward physics, the stunts, the design, yeah, it looks good, it has original ideas, it's decent racing game, not even more than decent, it's good racing game. For the last race, I will attempt to defeat a final boss with my character's first car, fully upgraded, but still my character's first car, the Z bucket that I've already mentioned. And I will not lie to you, I've actually used the save state here. And what can I say? Overall, yeah, I say you should try Stunt Racer 64 if you like racing games and hot rods, because it works. It's kind of like a Hot Wheels game which never came out. Instead it became Stunt Racer 64, and it's actually an interesting, good game which is very, very playable and quite overlooked and underrated in my opinion. Oh boy. I can't describe how lucky I was here. And no save states have been made so far, and that's the first time I was ever able to push off an opponent without using multiple save states to do it, and without falling down myself after him. That was a very lucky move. Yeah, probably my biggest grudge against Stunt Racer 64 is that this game is kinda really easy. You see, thing is, I'm playing on hard here, and I don't get much challenge, even against the final boss, even on the first car. As you can see in my races, all of them except from the very first race, we're done in the final league, so it's like top of the top difficulty. And I made mistake there, and I still won every race without much effort, doing a lot of tricks, so yeah, the game is kind of easy. And without cheats is kind of a drag. By the way, I'm using Project 64 Legacy here instead of Project 64. And it's a separate story about that emulator, but I've been in contact with devs for a while, and they are doing an awesome job on the Project 64 Legacy, so I do recommend you to download that emulator instead of the usual Project 64. And one of the advantages of the 64 Legacy is that it has built-in cheats menu. And one of the cheats I constantly use on Stunt Racer 64 is constant triple money bonus. Yeah, by default Project 64 Legacy only had constant double money. By the way, this is the moment where I made the save state, and it took me like 6 or 7 reloads to actually finish this race on the first place. So yeah, by default there are only double money, but you can actually open and edit cheat in 64 Legacy, and it's a simple matter of replacing 2 with 3. I guess it's self-explanatory, but if you'll actually get to that point and will have troubles, ask me in the commentary section, I'll grab a screenshot for you or something, and replace that with 3 and you get triple money. And I'm doing this because otherwise you don't get money at all. Even with running the game on triple money from the very first race, I still haven't bought all the cars. And without triple money, this can take ages. And the game is kind of easy, so yes, it's the main problem of this game. It doesn't last long, so it starts to repeat itself, so it gets, yeah, rather boring. And boy, it's already the end of the video. I didn't tell you so much. I didn't tell you about all the colorful characters you have to race in Stunt Racer 64, like robots in the zoot suits. And I didn't tell you why I put out videos so rarely nowadays. Well, stay cool, cats. Stay cool.